But all right, man. So we're here.
Yeah, bro.
What's going on?
Not too much, man. Living life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're back for a part two. It's been 3 years.
Yeah, bro.
A
lot's changed.
A lot has changed. A lot has changed. I like you were talking this morning, and we were talking about like how we were watching the last episode that we did, and bruh, Young Guns.
Bro. Bro, I can see so much of like just how I've grown in the last 3 years and how we both grown.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I could even see moments in when I was speaking. I'm like, bro, you're so close.
Yeah.
You're so close to finding God, where you're right there, and you're just not there yet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to see, man.
Yeah, bro. So we're here 3 years ago. Now we're back in the same spot. Obviously, it's a different setup, a lot more elegant setup, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
But for those the viewers that aren't aware, maybe not watched the first episode, who is Jalil Evans?
All right, so man, it's hard to answer that question, but I grew up in Montgomery County, Maryland. Went to Cornell, graduated there in 2021 with my bachelor's in information science. I'm currently a product designer at Meta. I've been there for 4 years building new features for stories. And really just like to describe who I am, I'm really just someone who just likes to create things. Like all throughout college, I was on a dance team. I made a bunch of choreographies. Last 2 years of college, I built a startup. And now I'm just building products for Meta. And on the side, I'm also working on a clothing brand called Design Your World. And in the future, I just want to build more tech products, honestly. Just try to build more, get more into the tech field, and really just see what I can do with that. So I would say that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. I'll kind of bring him up to speed a little bit. How I know Jalil is, we went to middle school together. I met Bryant first.
I met me first.
I met you first, yeah. And then through you, I met Bryant.
Yeah.
So you were like one of my first friends that I made in middle school, and like just to see that progression of going from middle school to high school to college to out of college, and now still being best friends and still having the trio together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a blessing, and we talk about it all the time. It's like, as far as friendships go, it's not often you see friendships last this long, you know what I'm saying? So it's like just a blessing in disguise. And we don't take it for granted. We're always hanging out, we're always having a good time together, always talking in the chat. So like that's something that we've like subconsciously always put at the forefront, I guess you would say, of like our life. Like that's one thing that is always stable, has that stability, and it's like our friendship, So but yeah, and kind of segueing into that, seeing you getting married recently, man, like I made a whole YouTube video on that, man, and that was just like one of the high points of obviously your life, but also my life as well. Like seeing somebody who I've done life with, like get married to the love of their life and stuff, and kind of just take me through that process. Like, how did you get to the point to where it's like, I want to marry this woman? What were your emotions and feelings leading up to the marriage? And then like, how are you doing now?
Bro,
I know that's a lot of questions right there. All right, let's start with the first one. Take me through, how did you get to that point of, I want to marry Emily?
To marry her. So I've known I wanted to marry Emily for a long time. Like way before I proposed, I knew I wanted to marry her. And she had a lot of qualities of a woman I would want to spend the rest of my life with. She was always a very caring, nurturing, understanding person. She was the type of person who could like predict your needs before you even know you need it. It would be something even small, like, like we're eating dinner or something, and I just like pause for a second. She's like, "Oh, like you need a napkin?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I do need a napkin." Actually, like I didn't even think about it, but she was already on top of it. So she's someone who's just really caring, who really just puts other people before herself, like really like the way that like Jesus does. And I found that very admirable about her. She was someone who was always supportive of my ambitions and my goals. She wasn't the type to try to like pull me away from anything and be like, oh, like you need to give me more attention or anything like that, even though, of course, that's important, you know, spending time with each other. But at the same time, she knew that it wasn't an issue of whether or not I really loved her or anything. She knew that I had goals that I wanted to reach, and she put herself more in the position of how can I help you achieve those than like, oh, just, you know, spend all your time with me, like demand all this attention, where you at, all of this stuff. So I've known for a while. I mean, probably since 2020, I was pretty sure
Wow.
I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. And from that time until when I proposed, it was just, I was just messing around, you know, I was still stuck like in the world, you know, I was still stuck with like the young man, just kind of just like chasing, you know, goals, chasing girls, just chasing all of this and like being distracted. And that's something you got to get out of your system, you know, get out of your system. Eventually you realize that it's just a cycle. It repeats itself over and over. And all it's doing is distracting you from the vision of what you actually want for your life. If you even have a vision at that point, you might be so lost in it, you don't even know what you want for yourself, you know? So once I realized, you know, and sat down with myself and I was honest about, you know, where do I really want to go? And is what I'm doing right now leading me towards that? I realized, you know, the answer was I should probably lock in. And yeah, I decided I would propose to her probably like by 2023, like near the end. We were already planning it out. But yeah, it was one of those things, like me and her talked about marriage a lot before me even proposing. So yeah, that's how I knew.
Okay, so now you're at the engagement process. You're now planning a wedding. I'm going through that right now, so I know how much that takes. But walk me through maybe some of the hardships that were going on at the time of like going through the wedding planning process, and also just kind of some of the emotions that you were feeling, maybe leading up to it.
The wedding planning process was, it was like, there was just a lot to do. And there were just so many steps in it that you had to really just take it one step at a time. I remember in the beginning, we're like, okay, well, first we got to figure out who's coming to our wedding, who we're inviting. But kind of before we figure that out, we need to know how many people we can take. So we need to have a budget, and we also need to know where we're going to have the wedding. And there was just a whole like cycle of things that you kind of had to figure out around the same time. And it was an interesting time because I remember at first, like when I had just proposed to her, within a week, she was already like ready to start wedding planning. And I was like, chill. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to start doing that. But her mom was also really in wedding planning mode too. So she was kind of stuck in the middle of like her mom being really frantic and being like, all right, let's, you know, try to figure everything out. And me being like, oh, let's chill, just enjoy the time. So that time I know for her was more stressful because she was stuck in the middle of those two energies. And then with probably in like a month, that's when we started really like, I started getting on the page of like, all right, let's really get to, you know, planning the wedding and everything. But it was really just, you got to take it one step at a time, you know. It also makes you evaluate your friendships and the people in your life too. Like, it's such a snapshot in life of like who you're closest to right now, who's gonna make the invite and who's not gonna get an invite. You know, it's a weird position to be in because you don't want to feel like a bad guy to like some of your friends. It's like I like a lot of the people that did end up coming to my wedding, you know, but like I just didn't have enough space to invite everybody. So that was a bit of a struggle there. But yeah, you got to take it one step at a time, but there's always something to do.
I was talking to, we just recently hired a wedding planner. And the one thing she would ask me, she was saying, are you involved in the wedding process, like in the wedding planning? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I be? We do things together. And she was like, most of the time it's the woman who's usually going through that wedding process. So when I hear that the men are being involved in the wedding process and like making Pinterest boards with them or like trying to figure out how many people or calling people up, she was like, that's a good sign. Yeah, same. The ones where it's usually like just the woman doing it, it seems a little off, you know? So she was just like, I'm totally glad that you're involved in the process. And I'm already a creative guy, as you know, and I like being a part of that type of stuff, like basically planning a whole big event for the next chapter of my life. So that's something that I was already thinking about. Like I didn't think that it was like, oh, this is her thing. Like, you know, it's her day. She wants to do it. Like, she was saying it's your guys' day. It's just as much as your day as it is the woman's day. So I was like, yeah, definitely. Cause you know, with the whole wedding process, you know, it shines on the woman at the end of the day.
She the star of the
white
show.
is your ass. Yeah, she the star of the show. You know, she the LeBron. You know, and I'm totally fine with being a D-Wade and a Chris Bosh.
Right. It's cool to be a role player.
Yeah, as long as I get my touches though, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's one thing that my wedding planner really told me was that it's good to have both parties because it is stress. It can be stressful. It can be stressful. I mean, I'm seeing that now. Like, not that it's necessarily stressful for us, but like you said, there's a lot to do. And you never want to put that on one person, especially when both are working, both have obligations, and you're trying to mesh two families together. So if she doesn't know what my family likes or what they want to do, like how, or vice versa, like how is that going to all create and be put in place for it? So, but yeah, so you got through the wedding process. I mean, the wedding planning process. Now it's the wedding weekend.
Yeah.
Taking me through a little bit about the things that you did the wedding weekend. Maybe some emotions feel like leading up to it, maybe the day of. I know, obviously, looking in firsthand, you know, that was a great weekend. That's one weekend that I will never forget. A lot of people won't forget. So I already have my own ties to it, but I want to see it maybe from your perspective.
Yeah, bro, it was a crazy week, man. Leading up to it, bro, I mean, there was nerves for sure. But what I didn't expect is how many things you still have to figure out leading up to the wedding, like that last week.
Yeah.
Like you would think everything's figured out by then. Like, all right, just gotta wait the week and then get to where I need to be. Nah, you're still running around every day, getting like the last decorations in place, trying to cash in checks, like get money from the bank, pay this person, pay this person. You still got to get ready. You got to get your hair cut. You got to, you know, do all this. So the way I think about it is from that week before the wedding, it was like getting on a train and the train just continued to speed up until I was at the aisle walking down. Like it was just something after something after something. And then all of a sudden you see, you know, we were all in Jersey and, you know, you guys were there. I had family coming down. So we got married on Sunday. Family was already here by like Friday night. And, you know, we're still doing a whole bunch. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing family. I'm seeing the people that I'm going to be walking down the aisle in front of. And I'm like, dang, this is happening fast. Everything's moving fast. But there was also just a lot of excitement. Like it was nerves, but I also felt like I was exactly where I needed to be. You know, just surrounded by family, surrounded by my friends, surrounded by Emily's family, and about to marry the love of my life. You know, like everything was just where it needed to be. So, like, craziest feeling, man. Seriously, just best day of my life. Best day of my life for sure. Also the most nerve-wracking.
So when we're at the church and we're getting ready everybody's getting in place to walk down. All the families are on both sides of the Catholic Church. How are you feeling at that moment?
So we're here at the wedding. I just pulled up and everyone's
just pulled up. Jeez. You just pulled up. Everybody's in their seats, starting to hear that organ play.
I was feeling myself. I was feeling good because I just pulled up in the vet. So I already pulled up there. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. Walk up there. You know, I hear the organ playing. And the doors are open a little bit. So I'm seeing like my family like on one side, Emily's family on the other. Friends that I haven't seen in like two 2 years. I'm like, dang, like they're here too. Like they're giving me a nod. I'm like, giving them a nod too. Um, I was, I feel like leading up to it that day, I was still, I was nervous, but also I was moving so much because the photographers come in. You got to take your pictures and everything. I'm getting ready with you guys, and something's always happening. Um, so that was the first moment where like things stood still for a second. And then I hear the organ, see everybody, and I'm like, all right, I see the wedding coordinator motion to me, like, all right, it's time to start walking. I'm like, ooh, all right, I open the door, and I just start walking in there. And I remember like not even looking to my right or to my left. Like I didn't acknowledge nobody. I just looked straight at Mother Mary in the church and Jesus right there. And I looked at my priest. And I just locked eyes with him, and I just walked straight down because I knew if I looked to the left or right, like I want to start saying hi to people, start dabbing them up, like, hey. But I was like, I can't do that, so I just got to log in.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk down there. That was probably the most nerve-wracking part, was just walking. Once I was there, I wasn't nervous anymore, but my heart was still beating because I didn't see Emily yet. And then, everybody else walks in, and I hear the music intensify a little bit, and then they open the door and I see Emily there, and I see her parents on both sides of her. And I told myself I probably wouldn't cry. As soon as I seen her, I start watering up, right? Start watering up. She just looks so beautiful. And yeah, it felt really significant. I'm like, wow, like this is, the moment. And that significant moment every man's life when they get married is like that, like that I've seen so many times in like movies and everything. Like, dang, like this is me right now. Yeah, bro, it was amazing. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
So now you got the wedding ring on your finger, feeling good, walking out of the church. Now you get to celebrate. Does it feel like a little weight's finally lifted off?
Oh, see, wait, on my shoulders, bro. I didn't eat the whole morning before. I was just too nervous. Like I tried to get something down, couldn't, bro. Only thing I could get down was like some fruit. We had some like grapes and all that in the hotel room before. That's all I could get down, bro.
Yeah.
So once that was finished, biggest way, because that's what I was really like. That's where most of the nerves come from, I think. Like you're not really worried about the reception. Like that's a party. No, but the ceremony is like it's like a ritual. You go in there, you're in front of God, you're in front of everybody, and it's very significant. But yeah, once that moment was over, I was like, all right, yeah, we're chilling now.
Yeah. There was two moments probably of the weekend that I would say impacted me the most, I would say. And I kind of discussed it a little bit in the YouTube video that I did, but the first moment was, well, maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. The first moment was obviously before the wedding in the morning, like when it's Sunday, so we got church. Obviously we're in Jersey, so we're not able to go, but
Yeah.
we're putting on the service online, and we're just like hyped, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like just praising God, thanking God for getting us to that moment. And like that's one moment that I will probably I will never forget. Is that moment of just like us just like praising God and just thanking him and just feeling that jolt. I don't know, it just felt like something was in the room that time, you know what I'm saying? Like something was in the room where it's like, all right, we got this, we ready to go.
Yeah.
I'd say that the second one was after the wedding and after the reception the next day, which was just like the brunch afterwards, right? And just to see just family, just seeing like how after a wedding, now we have, the two become one, and just seeing how both families are just interacting, how we're just coming off just a high, and it just feels mad mellow. Got the food going, got conversation, got the skyline going. Like it just felt like it felt so at peace.
Yeah.
Just to have, it felt like not just your family, but my family too. Like it just felt like how those are the moments that you really cherish. And it's like you look back on those moments and you're like, dang, this is what it was all for,
Yeah.
you know? And I can even just imagine like your dad or Emily's dad or just the parents in general, like seeing like just kicking back and being like, this is this is what we've been hoping for,
Yeah.
you know? This is what we've been thinking about. Like this is how family is supposed to be. You know, like got the aunts, got the uncles, got the grandparents. And it's just, I could see what, like, I even could see myself, like, being a grandfather at that time and just looking back and just being like, yeah, this is what we created. This is what we created, is that family time, man. And, yeah, that's, I would say, like, those are the two moments where I've, like, felt the most impact. And definitely the two moments that I'll be looking for in when I'm getting ready to get married. Yeah, next year. So,
It's coming up, bro.
I know. It's not coming up fast enough for me.
I hear that.
Oh man, I think it'll definitely. I feel once we get through Thanksgiving, once we get through Christmas, New Year's, then I think things are gonna start flying by.
Yeah.
Right now, I've been, engaged a month now, almost 2 months now, which is kind of even crazy to even think about. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Bro.
it's amazing to see, but kind of going into what we were talking about as far as just family, we're a part of a group led by our pastor Gary for Union Silver Spring, and we're talking about what it means to be a model man. Life changing, life changing, life changing group, man. We meet at 6 a.m. on Starbucks on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Gotta go to work after.
Yeah.
Some guys in there at 5.
Yeah.
Because he's saying, man, I'm here at 5, whatever.
At 5.
From 5 to 6, you can ask me whatever you want to ask.
Yeah. I just had a couple days.
Yeah. I've been trying to get there at like 5:30.
Yeah, I see. I've been peeping.
Yeah, I've been trying to get there at 5. It's hard because I go into work, so I'm like, I'm going right after. I'm going in, logging those hours in. So, but I try to make it. But I would say one thing for me is that usually if I have something to do like that in the morning, I'm not trying to do it. Not trying to do it at all, but I feel like whenever I wake up, especially for the Wednesdays, I'm like, I'm ready to go.
Ready, right?
I'm ready to go. Like, I don't feel tired. Like, obviously I prepare before. Like, I'm not going to sleep at no 12, 1 o'clock, right? But I make sure. But I'm like, man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see what everybody has to say. It's 20 guys on a regular. It's what, week 6, week 7?
Yeah, something like that, bro. We're in there.
Yeah, so
We're almost finished the book.
yeah, we're almost finished the book. So, yeah, it's just amazing to see how many like guys just come out, sacrifice their time, sacrifice time with their family, sacrifice their sleep, their work schedule, and it's 20 guys, 20 to 25 guys each week, man. Tell me how that has impacted you, the whole Model Man group.
I mean, first of all, just seeing how many people are like willing to be up at that hour to get mentorship and get sharpened by the word and sharpened by each other shows like a level of dedication that's like contagious. I see that. I'm like, dang, like all y'all up too. Like, oh yeah, I gotta be up. I gotta be up here getting this word just like y'all are. It's also just a blessing to have a group that's led by your pastor, and you get to speak to him firsthand. You get to ask him questions, and you get to see how he navigates situations in his life. And it's great to hear everybody else's perspective in it as well. And I remember before even coming to this, I wasn't gonna go. Like, I saw it was at 6 a.m.
Same.
I was like, I don't think I can fade that. I'm okay. Like, I'm good, like I've been in my Bible. I got my word, I come on Sundays. I'm good. I don't need to go. But man, I was wrong, bro.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I pulled up there Wednesday and I remember what we were talking about, and I was writing so many notes down. I was like, dang, I need to work on this. Oh, I gotta work on this too. I gotta work on this. I really love how the book is structured, because it goes through like what makes a good man, integrity, keeping your word, showing up for people, when they need you, managing just your relationships with people, how to be a good husband, how to be a role model to your kids, and how to just manage like your schedule. I feel like that managing your schedule is so important, and I'm glad the book talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of men, depending on who you are, is like you can get very caught up in your grind.
Yeah.
And you can get used to things. So if you don't schedule things, then they can very easily just fall off to the side. If you don't intentionally schedule time with your wife, it can fall off to the side and you're just always focused on what you have going on. So it was really important to see how to like reorient my focus and my priorities and make sure I allot time for everything I need to in my life. And how to just like not burn out, but really navigate life at that snail's pace and just make progress on everything little by little. And, you know, people might see that and hear how you're handling things. They're like, oh, like he'll never get to where he needs to be. He's not spending enough time grinding. But you got to trust in God too.
Mm-hmm.
You got to trust in God. You got to realize the people who are trying to put everything in, like just work, they're going to burn out, you know.
Yeah.
They're going to burn out in a year, maybe probably less, you know. How many people have made New Year's resolutions and like went from like doing nothing to just trying to be in the gym 6 days a week and just going at it? By February, they burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, there's so many gems in it. Like that wasn't even half of them. You feel me? That name, but like, yeah, bro, it was life changing, man. It's I'm implementing things in my life, you know, day by day. So I'm
Right.
Yeah.
I'd say one of the most impactful ones for me was not just last week, but the week before that. How we really got really raw and like really into the conversation. Like it was just all opinions, all shame is like thrown to the side. Let's really talk about what we got to talk about. And one thing that we did was we took a piece of paper. Everybody got a piece of paper, and we wrote out highlights and lowlights of our life, like from the time we were born. And like the one thing that Pastor Gary was saying, like, where did it go wrong? Where were things that went wrong? And then also where were things where you felt were high? And I'm mapping that out, and I'm like, man, did this in high school? Did this in college? Oh, something happened here. Ooh. Now I see a little trajectory down. And then it's like, okay, now I'm here. Now I see the ascension. And it was just kind of crazy to see. It's not often that we as men like really get to sit down and ponder about where we are in our life and what we've been through. I feel a lot of men are on autopilot a lot because we have the responsibility of being that provider, you know, attacking the day. And so we don't have time to sit down, decompress, and be like, okay, let me think about the day, or let me think about this past year. Where am I at right now? Where do I want to be? It's always just like on go mode. And I feel that's where the groups really help out, is it gives you that kind of stop sign to look and look at your life and see where things went wrong.
Yeah.
See how you got out of that moment. And I think a lot of it too is you see when people start talking, you hear similarities in your story. Somebody might talk about something that went on in their life. You're like, dang, I went through that too. And they see how they got through it. You're like, it's pretty similar. And then then somebody else talks about something that you're going through like at that very moment.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you may need to hear that because you may feel like you're in a dark spot. You may feel like you are, you know, stuck. How am I going to get through this? But just being able to witness somebody else being in that same position and being like, okay, this is the steps. This is how I got through it, or whatever it is. The one thing that I always remember Pastor Stephen say on Sunday, he was like, church is so interesting. It's such a great atmosphere because you'll be sitting in a row and you'll be crying about something that you're going through while somebody else is crying about the victory
That they
had. And it's the same thing.
very thing. Yeah.
So that's one thing that I've been like trying to take into church, but also just take into groups is you can never know what enough. You can always know more. And I think where it comes in knowing and knowledge comes through a lot of experience, but seeing how other people move through those experiences as well.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, just for Pastor Gary to take the time, because I know he's a busy guy, you know what I'm saying? Just to be able to take that time out of his week to just sit down and pour into a bunch of guys and like it's fun at times, it's real at times. You get the whole range,
Everything.
Sometimes you get that conviction, you get that correction.
Yeah.
And like it just goes to show that we need more men's spaces like that, spaces where we can really dive in and talk about what's going on in our life. How can we be better for our families? How we can be better for our communities and things like that. Better for our future kids and stuff. You know, like and even listening, like there's a wide range of people that are in there. You know, yeah, Mr. James, what is he, 70?
Right.
70 plus.
Yeah.
In there, 6 a.m. coming in, giving us that knowledge, giving us the tools that we need, coming from a perspective of a guy who's been through a lot of life, been married for, I think he said over 30 years. Like, and he tells us stories and things that he's been through his life, and getting that wisdom from that, giving wisdom from people in their 40s, you know, maybe just starting out with their families, what it's like just having their first kid, second kid. You got people like us getting into that, getting that piece of like just starting to build our family. You get people who are single, like you get the whole spectrum, and everybody can learn from somebody. You know, I think that's the one thing that community really harps on, is that you can always learn from somebody. So I actually want to go to the book real quick, and I want to talk about some of the chapters that we've been reading, and it's called Model Man: From Integrity to a Legacy by Larry Stockstill. So if you want to read a book, definitely a great read. It's a great read, easy read. It's not long, but I just want to go through maybe some of the sections. So the first one is character. So we have courageous integrity, the war on sexual purity, all eyes are on you. Then your second section is consistency, which consists of the pace of grace, power over yourself, and living a life of purpose. And then the last one we got to was connections, which is section 3, and making mama happy. So we have a couple more after that.
Yeah.
Which ones of those did you like really feel? I know we were talking about making mama happy.
Yeah, bro. That one gave me some conviction, because he was in the book talking about how he sees how people treated Queen Elizabeth, right? And, you know, laying out the carpet for her, opening every door for her. And he was like, that's exactly how every man should treat their wife. And, you know, like, I'm opening my door for my wife, like, a good amount of times, but it's not every time. You feel me? I'm like, why don't I do it every time? It's because, you know, sometimes I can't be bothered. And that's a place where I know a lot of men lack. And culture might tell you, like, oh, like, if you're doing too much for your woman, like, you're, like, I don't know what, like, you're simping, or, you know, you're just doing too much. And it's like, bro, like, the wisdom of God is just, it's crazy to see how, like, it's just so opposite to the wisdom of the world.
Yeah.
And your wife notices that, you know, like, those small gestures that you do go such a long way. And it's like a quiet affirmation to her, again, that, like, you love her and you're willing to do whatever for her. You love her, you're willing to do whatever for her. So that's one thing that gave me a lot of conviction. Another one, I mean, there's a lot of important aspects to it, like security, financial security. That's one thing I didn't think about as much, just because for us, like, we've had that, but I realized how much that's allowed Emily to, like, just be comfortable, and just not stressed about things that are going on in her life. You know, right now we're, like, dealing with her, you know, the government layoffs and everything, and she got affected by that in July, just before the wedding. And I wasn't stressed at all about it, and that helped her not stress out about it either, because I'm like, we're good, the bills are going to be paid, we have our emergency fund, we have our investments, here's the money that's coming in. And that security that I'm offering her there just allows her to relax and take her time to really think of what she wants to do next. And for her, you know, right now that's project management. So she's taking the course right now, but, like, she's able to just take that time, and she's not frantic about applying to other jobs, and trying to, like, do everything she can to make sure there's more money coming into the household because we're good. So financial security is a huge thing too. And just prioritizing time with her. Like I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but making sure that you have time blocked out on your schedule week by week to spend time with her.
Yeah.
You know, like for me now, like I would get off work and then I would just go right to my 5 to 9, whatever my side hustle is, working on a clothing brand, working on a newsletter, whatever it is I'm trying to do, teaching myself, learn how to code. But now I'm like, no, like, let me take 5 to 6, decompress, try to just chill, spend time with Emily, undivided attention, put my phone down, spend time with her. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? How's everything? Really just talk to her and have that intentional conversation with her. And that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And then setting aside date nights too, once a week. Wednesday nights we going out, we doing something. We were finding out about a whole bunch of different places now through the date nights. There's this place called Level 99. It's out in Tyson's at the mall, and it's like an adult playground. They call it like inside, but like you could go through a bunch of different like arcade rooms.
Yeah.
And each of them are different games. So shout out to Level 99 to definitely take your fiance there.
Yeah, exactly. I take Amna there.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's one thing that there's actually a question last week, and he was talking about I'm dating right now. Obviously I really like this girl. And we're progressing. We really like it. I really like her. And he was talking about, okay, I know that we've talked about how for a married man you're supposed to be setting time in place, and you're supposed to be setting, date nights and stuff. And he was like, is that something that I'm supposed to be doing? And he was like, and everybody was like, yes. And like, I thought that was funny because it's like, that's what groups are for, like, to like correct things that need to be corrected. And, or just reassure things that need to be like addressed. And like, I was trying to give him some wisdom of like how I would, during my time of dating, make sure that, she feels appreciated, make sure that she feels, comfortable, or make sure that we have date nights, because it's all about setting those, that ground level, making sure that part is stable. If you like get that good grounding up, then everything else can flourish from the beginning, like from that.
Yeah.
And so I know with my now fiance, like before we were even engaged, I was making sure that we were going on dates, making sure I was surprising her with flowers, and like it also just creates a system in your mind, like, okay, this is 2 weeks, we got date night, let's see what's going on. Every month, okay, I know she needs flowers, let me go ahead and get her some flowers, and you don't realize, like, once you get to that point, like once you start getting engaged, once you start getting married, it just becomes routine.
It flows.
And you don't realize like how much that is actually appreciated. I know she's great at it. Appreciate. She's the most appreciative person I've ever met.
Ever the same way.
So that's one thing that I didn't know that I needed too.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I found out in my premarital counseling that I love, like affirmation. I think that I've also expressed that to her, but like that's something that I love because it keeps me secure in knowing that, she's good. It keeps me secure in knowing that, like, okay, like she's moving along, she got her thing, she's appreciative. Okay, I'm glad, I'm happy, because that makes me happy. If like I'm not appreciated, it's like, I don't know. I don't care who you are. If you give somebody some flowers, you go out on date night, they don't say nothing about it. You go like, you know what? So I think that was really cool to be able to pour into somebody and be like, hey, this is what I did, and like see how it works for you. But it's just about like building the brotherhood, building people up.
Yeah.
And because we want to see success at the end of the day.
Yeah, bro. I feel like you and Amina, like you guys had that schedule from early in your guys' relationship. I remember noticing that. I think it was like Wednesdays or like Tuesdays. Like you guys like had like that was
Tuesday nights.
Yeah. So I remember asking. I was like, oh yeah, like what you doing like this day? It's like, oh, these nights are. You didn't even just say like, oh, I'm busy tonight. Just like you're like these nights are me and Amina is like. I was like, okay. I was like, I like that. Like you got the routine there.
Yeah.
Because before coming to the Model Man group, I didn't have like that routine with Emily. Like we were a very spontaneous type of couple. You know, it's like when we're feeling it, we'll go out and we'll just make the move. And it happened to be around basically a weekly cadence because it's like, oh, it's Friday night. We don't have any moves. All right, let's go on a date. But it's yeah, it's just nice to like see now that other people are creating that schedule more in their lives. So
yeah, it's all about intentionality at the end of the day.
Yeah,
just being intentional with, not only just like romantic relationships, but friendships and just life in general.
Yeah.
You want to live a life of intentionality. I think that's something that we talked about in the group as well.
Yeah.
Like, what are the things that you're intentional about? What are the things that you need to pour into a little bit more? What are the things that you have stable at that time? So yeah, it's been a great group. I'm excited to get those last few weeks in.
Yeah, bro.
Sad for it to go, but I know that's there'll always be another group.
Yeah.
There'll always be another group.
For sure, man. Hopefully he hosts another Model Man, and that's like,
or somebody picks up the torch.
yeah, he will need that. Yeah, someone got to pick up the torch. If he don't host it, someone got to.
Right.
Yeah.
I wanna pivot a little bit. Obviously we've been talking a little bit about faith. We've been talking about us in the groups, us in the church. You weren't like this. You weren't like this before.
No. I flash back to what, 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago, you were in the headspace spiritually. I would say that you are now.
Yeah.
Me looking in, just to start us off a little bit. It's amazing to see, obviously, the transformation that you've had. But I want the people to know a little bit about your story with coming to faith, with coming to Jesus. Yeah, so I just want to know, like, this is your time to shine, man.
Yeah.
I want you to just, kind of go in, talk about how you were feeling in the beginning, what impacted you, it kind of like led you to all of these places. So I guess we could start maybe say like growing up, how was that?
Yeah. So growing up for me, my parents, they weren't atheist, but they weren't Christian either. So I wasn't really brought up to believe in God. We would pray. It's interesting. We would pray like occasionally at dinner times. But we didn't go to church. We used to go to church, probably up until I was maybe 4 years old.
Wow.
And then we just stopped. Just never went after that. And yeah, they never like told me to believe in God or anything like that. So I was very free to just question things. So I didn't have too much of a model of the way the world worked outside of school. And in school, they teach you about evolution, they teach you about physics. So that was my model of the way the world worked.
Yeah.
And I did well academically, so I took pride in my understanding of what I learned at school. And I would say like by the age of 15, my worldview was basically agnostic. Like I was like, yeah, there's probably a God out there, but there's no way anybody could know for sure. So let's not even bother questioning it, So best thing you could do is just live your life as best as you can. Be a good person, make the most out of life, But what prevented me from making the most out of my life was really just anxiety and a lack of self-confidence. Like I was confident in my smarts and I was confident in like certain skills, and I knew that whatever I set my mind to, I could do. But at the same time, like my confidence in myself was low.
Wow.
And I depended a lot on other people for validation. Like I based a lot of my self-worth on what other people thought of me. And maybe that's like the oldest child in me, is like trying to, make mom and dad happy. But I remember carrying a lot of social anxiety with me to like different situations and nervousness because I was always worried about how I'd appear. And I remember at the end of the days, like I would look back on the conversations I had with people and just like run them back and just dissect and criticize like everything I said. So I was like my harshest critic, and people wouldn't know that because I tried to like I mean, I don't know, maybe people did know that, but I feel like I put on like a pretty good face of like, nah, like I'm confident. I don't have anxiety because I didn't want to appear weak. So nobody really knew I was going through it, which makes it more isolating. Um, by the time I was 18, I found out about Eckhart Tolle. He had a book called The Power of Now. And his book basically said that a lot of our suffering was caused by us being trapped in our minds and identifying with all of our thoughts. And everybody knows that like majority of people's thoughts aren't good thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, most of them are negative. And if you identify with that, that can lead to a lot of suffering. So his philosophy was you need to take a step back from your thoughts, realize that you're not your thoughts, and just observe them. And a lot of meditation practices are based off of that. So for a while, that was what I settled for. Like that was good enough for me, to just like sit down, meditate, see my thoughts for what they were, just thoughts and not reality. But I think something was still a little bit missing, but it felt like it was fine. Soon after discovering that book, I also started going to Bible study with you. You invited me to a lunch Bible study senior year of high school.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out, what was it, Mr. Who was that? Can I forget the teacher, man?
Massey.
Mr. Who?
Massey.
Mr. Massey? Shout out Mr. Massey.
Wow, man.
Shout out Mr. Massey, because,
Cool.
yeah, he has in there, teaching us the Bible. And that was the first time that I picked up a Bible. And I remember that I couldn't even get through the first chapter because I read that and I was like, this contradicts everything I know about evolution. I was reading it literally. And I was like, what? Like, God made fish on this day and birds on this, and then he made animals, and then the next day he made humans, day after day? That don't make sense. Close the Bible. And I just didn't read it since then. And that, in my mind, it was hard for me to reconcile science and Christianity.
Yeah.
And I remember I was just watching debate after debate trying to figure this out because I don't like not understanding things.
Yeah.
Like that didn't sit right in me. So I was watching debate, atheist versus Christian, just over and over on YouTube, just trying to see like who was right. I just wanted to find an answer. And I couldn't. So by the time I was in college, my worldview was more solidified on like, there's just no way to know who God is, and there just can't be this like, I didn't think basically like like God and science could come together. So I had that assumption, which I know now isn't true, but at the time I was so just like convinced by that. So, I would say from like age 18 to 24, I was still in just a big like meditation, self-improvement, just reading a lot of different books on like how to better yourself, how to find that confidence and all of that. And that's kind of like, that's what my way of dealing with whatever the hole in me was, whatever that void was that I was trying to fill, that like lack of confidence, lack of true confidence. I was confident in skills and like what I could do, but myself, it was weird. It's like myself, something was still missing there.
Yeah.
So I tried to fill that by chasing goals, trying to make a lot of money, chasing girls, and just like for context, me and Emily were in an open relationship, through college. So in case anyone was curious about the whole girls thing. So I was chasing a lot of that stuff, still trying to fill this void that was there. And I wouldn't say my anxiety was bad, but it was there enough for it to be noticeable, and I'm trying to do something about it. So after a while, I think I just accepted that's just a condition of being human. Like, you're just going to have anxiety, you're just going to have nerves, you're just going to be, you're not going to be all the way there in confidence. So I was in college, and, as I was in this self-improvement space of just trying to better myself, because that's what I felt eventually I could better myself enough to finally have that confidence. I came across this content creator who was deep in that space. And, he was basically like very well read on philosophy, psychology, everything related to self-improvement, like all the books, seminars, events, like you name it, like he's been to them. So he was providing that information in a really easy to understand manner. But he also started anchoring things in more spiritual lenses. And that in my mind was like, oh, like this is what I'm looking for. Finally, someone who's like merging science with spirituality, and like now this actually makes sense in my head. I can subscribe to this. The issue is that there was a lot of good stuff that he was saying and a lot of things that he was teaching that still ring true today, but he also had ideologies that were pretty anti-Christian. Like he described Jesus as someone who was a really great teacher, someone who was a great moral teacher and someone who was enlightened, who understood the truths of life and could teach that to people.
Wow.
But like, that's it. Not the son of God, not any of that, but he was a good teacher, right? And I was like, that sounds about right. No wonder so many people listen to Jesus, right? So I was subscribed to his stuff for a while. But that, it's so interesting how like you can go so deep into something and you can read so many books. And one thing that he mentioned, which is what made me like him more, was like, he was like, don't just take what I'm saying for like face value. Like, go figure it out for yourself. Go read some books. Like, go really try to experience what I'm talking about. And I'm like, great. Like, you're not even trying to force anything down my throat or anything. It's not like you're going to hell if you don't believe in me. Like, you're telling me, you're just saying, go try to figure it out for yourself. And that attracted me to it. So for a while, I was just reading all these different books and they were helping me, but also there was still this lingering anxiety and just lack of confidence that was just there. And this was all through college. And,
Wow.
like I'm really good at like faking it. And even like my wife would tell you that like she didn't even realize I had the anxiety,
Yeah.
But like it was there. And, that's a whole nother topic. As a man in a relationship, you always want to seem like you got it together. Like, no, babe, I got this, But inside, I was still, struggling. And that's one thing, that I was in a freedom group, as besides the story, but I was in a freedom group last year or beginning of this year. And one of the leaders of that group said, the devil wants to keep you quiet. He doesn't want you to express what you're going through because he does his best work in isolation.
Wow.
He can really make you feel like you're the only one going through this. He can make you feel like you're worthless as long as you don't open your mouth to another person where they could check you on it.
Wow.
Right. So I was so quiet about this for so much of my life. Eventually me and you started having conversations. Right. And we were talking about faith and we were going back and forth. We're going at it. Like you had your points of view. I had my points of view. But what I really liked about our conversations is that you were always like willing to talk, and you weren't trying to like judge me or anything for how I thought. And we could really have this like open dialogue conversation. And that's one thing I did pride myself on a lot, is just being open-minded and being willing to consider other points of view. And I remember thinking to myself, well, if I'm as open-minded as I say I am, then I should be willing to try to really understand what Christianity is about. Really go like read the book, really go like listen to different perspectives on this. So you sent me some books. Not Enough Faith to Be an Atheist.
Yeah.
That was one. That was a good one. And I watched a lot of different content creators. Shout out to Redeem Zoomer and Cliff Connectley.
Yeah.
Man, great people. But there were a few things that I discovered through that. that I came to agree with. The first thing was that Christianity and science aren't mutually exclusive. In fact, science was inspired by Christianity, and most of the scientists that we base a lot of our knowledge off today, like Galileo and Newton, they were Christians. Like they were Christians. Like, wait, scientists that were trying to figure out how the world worked, they were Christian. Even Charles Darwin, he never outright denied Jesus. He was very respectful of religion, and he started off Christian. He became agnostic near the end of his life, but he never denied Jesus. And he was the one who came up with the theory of evolution, right? You would think someone who came up with that as the basis for why I'm not believing in Christianity would be pretty strongly anti-Christian, but no.
Right.
That's one thing that I started to agree with. The second was that Jesus existed. Like, that's another thing that people don't realize. Like Jesus was a real person, like it's not just like a fictional character. It's not just all like a myth and we're just talking about this person, but there's literal historical documents. There's more historical documentation for Jesus than there is like the first leader of Rome, and we all we all agree that he existed.
Right, Alexander the Great.
Yeah, we agree he existed, but when it comes to Jesus, all of a sudden, I don't know, like. So that's another thing I came to agree with, and basically all religious scholars, even atheist ones, agree on that fact. Mm-hmm. And the last one is, there's this quote from C.S. Lewis. I was reading a book called Mere Christianity, was also a really good one for getting me into the faith.
Yeah.
And he said, for a man to be a man and say all the things that Jesus said, he couldn't just be a good teacher.
Wow.
He's either a lunatic or he's the devil himself. Mm-hmm. He's one of the two. You have to pick one. But you can't just say he was a great teacher. Right? Now, like, my model of who Jesus was broke down there, because I'm like, oh, wait a second. Like, yeah, okay. What type of man could claim to heal people, could not even claim to heal people, go out and heal people, tell people they're forgiven of their sins? Wow. You can't do that and just be a regular man. Mm. You're either a lunatic or you're the devil or you're the Lord, right? So agreeing with those three statements helped me be more comfortable just trying Christianity out more, like just being there, coming to church, being in groups. You're hosting a few groups that I was in, and that was great. Yeah. And I was really liking what I was seeing and just experiencing just the love there, the genuine care that people have for each other. It was great to see. Mm. So I would say like that open-mindedness, our conversations, and just trying to be more logical about everything led me more to Christ. And I remember it was August last year, and I was like, let me give this prayer thing a shot, So I remember sitting on the edge of my bed. It was Sunday morning. I just finished reading the book of Luke, and I prayed to God, and I said, I asked, should I get baptized? And I felt this little just inclination to go do it. And, looking back, I know that was the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. And,
in my mind at the time, I was like, maybe that was the Holy Spirit, but I mean, the Holy Spirit wouldn't say no. So I guess it would have been. I know for sure the Holy Spirit wouldn't say no, don't get baptized. So I remember I was like, okay, well, next time that Union has baptisms, then I'll go get baptized. And I kid you not, maybe 20 minutes after I prayed that, either you or Bianca texted me, baptisms are today.
Wow.
Bro. I was like, wow, this gotta be God moving. Like, I'm like, dang, like now I'm starting to really feel like this might be God moving in my life. And you know how that story ends, I go get baptized. And since then, it was just a huge I remember getting out of that water, just feeling so much more significance in life.
Wow.
You know, like life felt like it had more meaning.
Hmm.
And I remember before, when you're agnostic, you can start to feel like things are meaningless, like there's no point of you really being here. You just got to make the most of it.
Hmm.
But all of a sudden, I'm like reading this book, reading the Bible. I'm like, no, we're here for a reason. You know, we're here to help redeem and restore humanity, right? We're here to bring heaven down to earth. And um, that puts a new like invigoration in your purpose.
Yeah, it does.
And it puts a lot more confidence in who you are. And that, oh man, the confidence that I gained from just being in the faith is a different level, because now all of a sudden your worth isn't in people's opinions of you. Your worth isn't God. And you just read the book of Psalms 139. He knit you together in your mother's womb. You're his masterpiece.
Mm.
Before he made the earth, he chose you to be redeemed and holy through Jesus Christ, right?
Wow.
He gave his son for you.
Mm.
You know how much you have to love somebody to give your son for them?
Mm.
I don't care what nobody thinks of me. If God, the creator of everything, thinks that of me, then there's nothing to argue about. You know what I mean? Confidence is there.
Mm.
All of a sudden, that hole I was chasing to fill is filled. Last podcast, I was talking about people are chasing a lot, and they're looking for validation. They're chasing something, and it's like, what's going to happen once they get that thing? They're going to want to chase something else, like to fill whatever that void is. And I was like, whatever that void is.
Mm.
That void is God-shaped.
Yeah.
It's a God-shaped void.
Yeah.
So yeah, once I started being in the church more, getting in the Word of God, being around Christian men and women, and even the way Emily started getting into the faith with me too, it unlocked just a whole new level in my relationships with her, with you, with the people around me. Now there's this entire spiritual lens of seeing things through, and yeah, I could go on and on about it, but that's really my testimony, bro. That's how I went from young bull to where I am now. So
I remember you when you had got baptized. It was actually Pastor Josh that was talking to you about something.
yeah,
What was he saying? I don't fully remember.
Yeah.
I remember you were saying like Pastor Josh told me this, and this was one of the most significant
Yeah.
things that really helped me out.
oh man. So I was telling him that I'm really trying to understand the faith, and I'm so logical, so I'm trying to wrap my head around things. And I was telling them how I was kind of just like watching, like debates and things like that, trying to just make sense of it, and I'm still not really there yet. And he said, maybe you should just, give it a try, like try to just be in church, try to be in spaces with God, because sometimes your heart has to go first, and then your mind will follow.
Mm.
So put your heart posture in a way where you're willing to accept God if it's true, and do the things you would do as if it were true, and see what happens to your mind.
Yeah. Wow.
I was transformed by that. Yeah. I remember telling you, like, the next week, I'm like, man, what Pastor Josh says. He's like, man, that hit you, huh? I was like, yep. It did, bro.
Wow.
It did hit me.
I'd say for me, seeing your transformation, I mean, I say it all the time. I've said it in multiple YouTube videos. I've told you, but it's been indescribable to see. I think that you don't always realize how much people really impact you.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of what you were talking about with how once the spiritual side is unlocked in a relationship, you have a totally different lens on in your approach in that relationship.
Yeah.
And that's something that I witnessed as soon as you came to that faith and came to that realization, is that now I remember I was talking to Ahmed. I think this is around the time you were getting baptized, maybe a couple months beforehand. But we were talking because Ahmed is great guy, cool,
Great
fun,
guy.
you know. And we had actually connected because we were in a freedom group together. Found out that he was from around the area. He went to Paint Branch, things like that. So I was like, okay, cool. It's a cool guy. Every time I saw him on the week, saw him every, I think it was every Wednesday at that time.
Yeah.
Then we started serving together. So now I'm seeing him every Sunday. And but the thing is, I'm like, yeah, this is a great guy. Like, I love this guy. You know, he's real cool. But we're leaving the the friendship at church. You know, I have my church friends at church, and I have my outside of the church friends outside of the church. You know what I'm saying? So I was having this conversation with him, and we had maybe talked maybe like 30, like an hour after church. And it was like, man, like we got to be more intentional about building our relationship up and building our friendship up, because we both wanted that friendship to have that spiritual lens. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I didn't feel like I really had that to where I could really have a really good friend, like where we're praying together, we're going to groups together, we're doing life together, and we're having a trajectory that's pointing towards God, you know? And so we had this long conversation, and then after that, like we were like, now we're checking in. Now we're going over to each other's houses. Now hey, bro, you going to be doing this group together? Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Then all the way to like now we hosted like 3 groups back to back all together. You know, and it's like now I was just at his girlfriend's birthday brunch this past what is it called? Past afternoon. And obviously we just chopping it up, man. Like we talk about the Commanders, and but we're doing life, but we're doing it and it's in a way that's like, you know, always pointing towards God. You know what I'm saying? And now like having an even bigger group that's honoring God, and that's in the church. Like now, even with us being on the same team at church and serving together, with Brian that's serving together, like it just puts a matter in your back to know that they have your back, not only just mentally, physically, emotionally, but also spiritually.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're getting ready to serve tomorrow, and like I'm excited, right? Like it's gonna be the first time we're all serving together.
Yeah.
And like that's what community is for. You know, that's what the brotherhood is for. And going back to what we were talking about with your wedding and how we were praising God, like that's what we need. We need as brothers to be able to go through those times, because it's not going to be every day where I'm going to be able to do things by myself.
Right.
And I'm not going to always need that, hey, bro, you got this. You know?
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that you really do well at is that you really put scripture behind the things that you're saying. So if we're discussing something, we're discussing a topic, I'm telling you, hey man, like I'm struggling with this, or I'm struggling with that. Bro, the first thing you say is like everything will be okay, but then you also start just speaking the word of God over me. You know what I'm saying? And how much peace that brings, how much comfort that brings. And of course, like hey bro, you got this, you tough, like you good. It has some level of comfort, but it's like that cherry on top to where it's like you get that word and it's like, dang man, I am made in the image of God. Like he is ordering my footsteps. Like he does have a plan of hope in the future for me. Like he's not here to condemn me, but to make us righteous and to walk us through this world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we're made blameless in the eyes of God because of the coat that Jesus has like basically put over us by dying on the cross for our sins. And it's like, dang, and sometimes you need those refreshers and those reminders to be like, dang, you're right. Like I got this. You know, not only like you got my back, but I know that God is going to help me through that tunnel as well.
Yeah.
And that's just like one thing that like you'll see when you start developing like godly relationships and relationships that are really like after God's own heart, is that you get this, like you said, this level of confidence, you get this level of boldness, the level of comfort, of peace, of mercy, of joy, of happiness, you know, like just obtain those fruits of the spirit, you know? And like, it's just to see like how our relationship has progressed, like over these years, and like how I feel better than ever. You know what I'm saying? Like we really can talk about like some nitty gritty stuff, you know, like really like, of course, like before we were talking about stuff where we chilling and playing, like, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. But now it's like, dang, bro, I'm really struggling with this. Like, how can I get through this? Or like, man, I'm going through this, or something's happening. Like, hey, can you mind something's going on with my family, you mind praying over that? Like, it's just like that level of like, just always showing up, like God showing up through people, showing that light through like the friendships and the people around you. Like, it's just like so comforting to know that, like, I got you,
bro.
I'm by your side. It's almost like God is saying it through other people that I got you.
Yeah, man.
Hey. Man, I think kind of segueing or moving forward, like I want to ask, what are some things that you're believing in, like now that you're on this trajectory, and now that you have God in the front and God in the back, pause.
Yeah.
Um, like what are some things that, like, with everything that you're doing, now you're in this new space of life, you're getting ready, you've already made that family, now you're gonna be getting more people additions to your family, so it's in the future. But what are some things that you're praying for and believing God for in this time?
Oh man, just continue to be sharpened by the word. Continue to grow closer to God and know him more. That's first and foremost, because I know all the results come from that. And confidence is high now. It only gets higher, the more you know God's word and the more situations you're exposed to where you see God work. That's definitely one. Strong marriage. Just praying that God covers Emily and I. Strong friendships, me, you, and Brian in the church, continue to just grow. And financial, just like multiplication, just getting into real estate right now. So just praying over that, pray we get some good deals.
Yeah.
Pray I have the discernment to choose, the right property. Those are probably some of the main things. And a lot of just like for the future, just praying over like strong family and praying that everybody around me just continues to grow and, become saved as well. I got some family members who they're still making their way. I see it. They're still making their way. So praying over them as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I think that some of the things that I've been praying for lately is obviously, my soon to be marriage.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big deal for me. I think you always like picture of what it's gonna look like, and then you're there. Like, it's just like, now we're at that time now where we're actually living out the dreams that we were thinking about, or the things that we would see on TV, or things even in our household that we've seen, like now we're actually like at that age now, and it's like, dang, I still feel like a kid sometimes, And it's like, man, I'm about to
I get responsibilities, bro.
I know, yeah, but now I'm about to have a birthday in next week, and it's like, dang, I'm about to be 27, man. Like,
getting up there, huh?
No, it's so funny because to me, 27 feels so old. Like, cause it's like I'm not there yet. I don't feel like I'm there yet, but it's like, bro, we haven't even scratched 30 yet, And it's like, we got a lot of life to live, man. But I think the main thing that I've been praying over is obviously like the people around me to just come know God, find freedom in that. I think kind of good. I think they always say the Union Creed: know God, find freedom, make a difference.
Yeah.
Discover purpose.
Discover purpose. Yeah.
Discover purpose. That was, I think I mixed them.
Yeah. Discover purpose number 3.
Yeah.
Well, right.
Yeah. My fault, man. My fault. I gotta get back to it. Church tomorrow, man. But that's the main thing, and also just like learn more of how to be a leader. How to be a leader, not only just in my relationship, but also in my community, with my friends. And just having like more dialogues with people. I think that's the main thing. Like, kind of what you were saying along those lines, that like, it's just like you being open-minded, I like to be open-minded too. So I'll like hours just watching YouTube videos with just differing opinions and stuff. Because I feel like also that just strengthens my faith at the end of the day too.
All right.
But like, I love talking to people. I love seeing lives impacted. I love seeing lives changed. And I think I just like I really want to just be a role model, what it's like to live out, you know, being in God's word and being, you know, on God's path and not having to be like in that worldly aspect. Like you still can have fun. You still could be, I mean, like, I feel like it's more fun to get, you know,
more free.
Yeah, you're more free. Yeah. And I think just the more free I am, the more that I'm able to like just like really be grounded in truth and in God's word. Like the more I'll allow God to like shine through me, you know. And I think that's the main prayer. I think I've been telling some of my leaders this when I've been talking around. But the one thing that I was praying, this was for Pray 21. I mean, in January was that. Because Pastor Stephen has said this, I think sometime last year. And he was like, look, you just need to say this prayer. Like, if you got to be all in, like what Pastor Ian was saying.
Yeah.
But he was saying, Lord, whatever you're doing for the kingdom, don't leave me out of it, you know? And I was like, dang. Because I know how I've like sat on the sideline for so long. Like you were saying, like, you know, the devil, the enemy wants you to be quiet. You know, he wants you to sit on the sideline. He wants you to make as little as impact as you possibly can.
Yeah.
You know, and when he said that, I was like, man, like, what am I had to look inwards and like, man, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing that's like impacting people? And once he said that, I was like, man, like, I really got to make a change in that, because you know, you can go to church on Sundays, you can read listen to your podcast or whatever it is, but it isn't until you about like when you really get into those experiences, like where you're really talking to people, where you're really like making an impact, you know, going out and feeding the homeless or whatever it may be, it's like where you really start to see God move. And I think that's where I really felt like I needed to improve in. And so for that whole 21 days of prayer, I was like, God, like, whatever you're doing for the kingdom, don't leave me out of it. And then that's when I started doing groups. I did groups 3 semesters in a row. Like, you know, people were like, bro, you got to do it again. You got to do it again. You got to do it again.
You know, you're telling me to leave something, man. I'm going to see, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then now being on a team, like an actual like being on a team and serving on the parking team, and being a part of not only serving a group but being a part of a group and having those conversations with my leaders, and then saying like, this is the vision that I have for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to walk in that. And like we always say, we said this in the church and out of the church. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Honestly, man. Hungry gonna eat.
Hungry gonna eat, bro.
How hungry are you? You know the brand, man.
How hungry are you gonna be, man? But it's like just applying that to my life. It's like, bro, it's out there to make a difference. You just got to go do it. You got to go do it. And if you don't do it, God going get somebody else to do it. That's the thing.
He gonna use whoever for his purpose.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like with Jonah, man. If you don't want to go out there in Nineveh and preach the gospel, I'm gonna find somebody else, or I'm either make you do it, right, or we gonna find somebody else. There's gonna be somebody else in the name. Yeah, and there ain't gonna be no Jonah in the Bible. It's gonna be somebody else. You know, but his purpose is always gonna live out. You know, it's just about like, are you gonna be the vessel? Are you gonna be the one that he chooses? Yeah. And so you always gotta stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Facts. That's the main thing.
Hey, man, stay ready, man.
You gotta stay ready. Yeah. Man, it's been a great conversation, man.
It has. Oh man, it flowed. I don't even know how long it's been. What time is it? Almost 9.
Yeah, almost 9.
Okay, we almost hit an hour and a half. This is good timing.
It's good timing, man. But I just want to appreciate you. You know. Hopefully it won't be another 3 years before we talk again. Yeah, you guys want to see another one, man. Hey, man, we're around. Yeah, so we'll talk anytime.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Share with all your friends. Yeah. Share with your unsaved friends so they can get saved.
No, I'm telling you. But yeah, man. Like I say all the time, man. It's always a good time talking to you. This is normal. We do this on a regular. It's just like without the camera.
Yeah, just put a camera here.
It's just put a camera here.
You look nice.
Yeah, you gotta put the aesthetics here. Yeah. But man, just wanted to let you know, man. Like, love you as a brother, man. Like, you have impacted me in so many ways that you probably don't even know. The only time you would know is maybe like when we reach heaven, man. It's like the one guy that showed, dang, this is the impact you really down on Daniel, man. And that's like,
I'm alright, bro.
But man, yes, it's a blessing to have you. It's a blessing to have obviously Bryant, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in the beginning, I'm gonna start off with it and I'm gonna end off with it, man. The relationship that we have, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for anything better, man. So amen.
Come on.
Praise God.
Thank you, bro.
Me too.
Love you, bro. Same to you, bro. Like, you've impacted me in so many ways, and man, I'm so grateful that you're just even willing to just like have these discourses with me
Yeah.
and be so open minded to like talk to me, you know, just man to man about these things and send me resources to learn more about it. Like, I don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for you. Honestly, like, nah, I wouldn't be a union. I don't know where I'd be. So, man, I thank you for that, bro. And I mean, I tell you, like, ever since middle school, bro, like, you've been my mans, bro. Like,
Oh, dude.
we learned so much from each other, man. I learned a lot from you. So, you know, I'm just glad we just have this space, you know, just continue to be, you know, brothers and grow with each other. Man, appreciate you, bro.
That's love, family.
Sure.